Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic and wonderful. Everything here is great, and as you can see, I got to spend some time down here in the shop this weekend. And by the title of the video, hopefully you'll realize that I'm going to be talking about this tool that I recently purchased. This is a tool, right? An apron is a tool. It's a type of tool, I think. At least in my mind it is. This is the Hudson Durable Goods waxed canvas. I think it specifically says for woodworking. I think they make a bunch of different aprons for like baristas and cooks and that sort of stuff, but I think this one specifically calls out for woodworking, and it has some features on it which I'll talk about and then try to show you. But I know right now you can't see the whole apron. But I'll tell you the reason why this is my favorite, most recent tool purchase. My most favorite recent tool purchase? Yeah, there we go. And that is, I think if you've been here for any length of time, if you've watched this show at all, you will know that I work best when there's nothing in my way. Meaning that the reason this show has lasted over 1,500 episodes is because I have reduced it down to the minimum amount of effort to do that. There's no editing, there's not a lot of, on-screen stuff. I don't drop in a whole bunch of other footage. The recording process takes exactly how long it takes for me to talk, and the editing process takes me about 3 minutes to trim the ends, slap on the title, music, that sort of thing. On the rare occasion I do put in other images or video clips that takes longer. It could take up to an hour, but in general, for me to do something, I have to know that I have the amount of time that's required to perform the task available to me, and I have all the tools, accessories, etc. needed to perform the task available to me, and I have all the processes figured out before I start. That seems to be universally how I do things. Now, I say seems to be because in my job as a programmer, that's not always the case, right? I don't always know how I'm going to solve something when I start. And sometimes with that, I just have to do. And there's not really a way around it. Just get it done. But that's beside the point. The point of this is when things get in my way, when I feel like my time is not going to be well served by the process, when I feel like there's something that's going to hold me up, chances are I'm not going to do whatever it is that needs done. Case in point, working on these shelves, I could have had these shelves done in a day, right? Had I, infinite time, or did I not have a job, I could have just came down here and got these done in an 8-hour period. I don't regularly have an 8-hour chunk of time that I can devote to coming down here and making shelves. So instead, I have to do this in small batches of time. An hour here, 2 hours there, whatever I can muster. This weekend, I got to spend, sorry if that's loud, I got to spend about 5 hours down here, maybe 6 in total, working on these shelves, and they're completely together now. They need finish sanded, they need the shelves pinned, and the reason that I was able to do that, in part, is this apron. So, I know I've just said a whole bunch of bullshit that has nothing to do with this apron, but let me tell you the reason. When I come down here, it's a process, right? When I know I'm going to be cutting wood, when I know I'm going to be sanding wood, I have to take off whatever it is I'm wearing at the time, whether it's my pajamas, which is, what I'm in most of the time nowadays, or my good pants, and I have to put on some other, type of clothing. I have shop pants and usually a flannel shirt. I come down here, I do the messy stuff. I do as much of the messy stuff as I can before I am finished with the process and I have to move on. And after the messy stuff is done, and I'm at a stopping point, I go upstairs, I take off those clothes, I take a shower, I have to rinse off because I do have allergies, so not that I'm allergic to wood, but the dust will cause me to, stuff up. So it's this whole process just to come down here and spend a couple of hours. And thinking about that process oftentimes will cause me to not come down here. I'll just stop and be like, I don't have time. I have to go do all this extra stuff to come down here. What I have discovered with this apron, and maybe you can see it from on video, is that it catches all of that crap that I was trying to keep off my work clothes or off my normal clothes. Which means I can come down here in whatever it is I'm wearing and do work, and I don't have to worry about going upstairs and changing clothes and doing a whole bunch of shit. I can just take this off, hang it up, move on. On top of that, I have tools that I regularly use, easily accessible. I have a small ruler, I have a marking knife, I have my I guess this is a square, but it's also double-sided, it's not a combination. I have my screwdriver, I have my tiny screwdriver, I have my pencil. I have what I need ready, at the ready, when needed, and it's not in my way. My old system was this awesome little tool belt that my friend made for me, my design, where I slipped it into my pants. But this, often I found my shirt overhung this, and it was a pain in the ass to get stuff in and out of there. So I haven't been using it as much. It would just kind of sit on the table near me, and I would take the stuff I needed out of it and put it back. This guy, everything's right here. Now, I think I mentioned that this is the woodworking version, and I think that's because hammer loops. It also has dust covers on the pockets, so when you're sawing, a whole bunch of stuff doesn't get down in here. On one of the pictures, it shows one of these loops being used as a tape measure thing, and then it has pencil pockets. This is intended to be a phone pocket. This is the woodworking version. It has a crossback strap. It's very, very, very comfortable. These straps have little padded pieces that are supposed to sit on your shoulders if you're a shorter person than me, I think, or maybe just a differently shaped person than me. These might sit up better like this, and you wear the apron really low. I don't like the apron low. I want the apron up as high as I can get it. So these kind of don't really sit where they're... Oh, I guess I can move them. Didn't see that. Scratch everything I just said. These are movable, so I should have had these up on my shoulders because I do like to wear this as high as possible. I don't need a lot of floor length because I'm not doing, butchering or something where I'm going to get a whole lot of spatter, but I do need... So I prefer to have these tools up out of my way and then have more of my front protected from sawdust and that sort of stuff. So I should have done that long ago. Crossback strap, super duper comfortable. This is a very thick canvas, so it is a little bit encumbering if you're bending at the waist a lot. I think it'll break in over time, and I think that the company's materials talk about re-waxing this at some point if it were to get dirty. But overall, I think it's a wonderful tool, and it's really made it easy for me to just pop down here for an hour, throw this thing on, do my work, take it off, go back upstairs, and I'm done. I don't have to go change clothes and do a whole bunch of extra stuff, and I think that's the most important thing. Now, as far as features go, it's got pockets that I'll probably never use. I don't put my hands here. This pocket goes all the way through, so you could put whatever in here and have easy access to it. I don't see the use of that. I haven't used these lower pockets at all. I really don't intend to have, I don't keep screws on me or nails or whatever else I would keep in these pockets. I don't necessarily need a combination square or anything more than this on me at most times. This is just fine for my square uses. As I mentioned, the tape, this hammer loop is not a good solution for the tape. This tape pops off pretty easily if I catch it on something, and it's easy to catch because it's so floppy loose. So there are some modifications I'm going to make. I'm going to remove, I might leave that in place, but I'm going to probably move my tape up a little bit, more like up in this area with a little piece of leather and a strap. Bending over, stuff will fall out of this pocket if you do a lot of bending at the waist, which has been a bit of an issue for me. So I'm going to add a catch for my square, and I think I'm going to split this pocket and actually stitch or put rivets in to make this pocket divided for more things. It's intended to be a cell phone pocket. I don't need my cell phone right here all the time, and it's kind of an uncomfortable place to wear it. So I'm going to make this more of a extension of this pencil pockets thing. I would like to have more of those across so I can have, you know, stuff in here like this. Maybe even a pair of pliers. So I might split this just in two for my marking knife and my ruler, and then have pliers over here or something like that. I don't know. I haven't fully settled into it yet, but what I have noticed is it makes it much easier for me to just do work when I can and not have to worry about getting dressed, getting undressed, all that sort of stuff, which has been great. Really, really good, because I got the shelves done. I had a really good time down here this weekend working on them. I will probably show them to you in detail when they're finished. They have, you know, as everything I've ever made has little flaws here and there that I need to patch up. I am going to pin the shelves with dowels, and I need to flush up the ends because they didn't get quite right. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the problems and trials that I had making them, but I really wanted to talk about this. There will be a link for this in the description. That is an affiliate link, so if you buy one, I get some money back from Amazon. Don't feel like you have to do that. This was not provided by Hudson or anything like that. I bought this with my own cash based on some research that I did and decided that I wanted to give it a shot, and I'm super happy that I did. Super, super happy. Yeah, I think you know, in some weird way, it's little tricks like this where I trick my brain into saying it's not that big of a deal. We got the apron, we can just go slap it on. Those little tricks are the ways that I fool myself into being productive, because otherwise I would just sit and be like, I don't have, you know, I need to carve out a 2-hour window to make it worth my time. And that's, you know, complete nonsense. But that's the way my brain works. So, apron, shop apron. Yes, I will be wearing this forever. Well, until it wears out and I have to buy another one. Do you have a shop apron? Have you ever worn one? Have you ever considered one? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should notice sounds smart is kowtow. It is a verb meaning to give someone's every wish, to grovel and behave in a subservient manner. Amy told Andrew that she was sick and tired of kowtowing to his every need. Kowtow, K-O-W-T-O-W. I'm assuming that's kowtow and not koto. It just shows the pronunciation of capital K-O-W, so kowtow is how I'm going to say it. Let me know if I'm wrong. I also didn't realize that we just magically moved into the K's. There's not a whole lot of J's, apparently.